Yo, what's up, guys? It's Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall, and I'm gonna do a really quick, prediction, kind of like a reaction video to Kanye West, basically Yeezy inking not a 1 year, not a 2 year, but a 10-year deal. 10-year deal with Yeezy and the Gap. The Gap, folks. If you never heard from that, that's our neighborhood, everybody's clothing store. Clothing for the masses Gap. That's right. The one that owns Old Navy, Banana Republic, the Gap, okay? Basically, Kanye used to work at the Gap, and he actually dreamed at one point of being some sort of like creative director for the Gap. And I'm sure that at that point the Gap was probably thinking like, dude, you crazy, bro. Like, we do like just basically like what basics and stuff for the preppy people or athletics. But obviously, as you know, because of the COVID situation, all these companies, Gap, Banana Republic, Victoria's Secret, like they're all having a tough time, all the retailers. And so Kanye swoops in and decides to ink a deal with Gap, and they said yes for 10 freaking years. So basically, as the owner of the mall, okay, and I know this is like my perfume review channel, but as you guys know, I also own the Troy D 24/7 Mall, and I've been in that whole business for about 10 years. And everybody knows that I'm probably one of the biggest Kanye collectors, not specifically just the shoes, but I'm talking about every rare stuff that he's ever pulled out, every rare stuff he's owned. I probably own it. It's somewhere in my vault. Everybody knows about the vault. And everybody also wants to know, like, what's my prediction? What do I think about this thing? Is this like a resale thing? Is it, are hype beasts gonna profit from this? Is it really for the masses? What's it gonna look like? What are my guesses? Well, we're gonna go talk about it right now. Kanye is basically at this point really pushing towards the utopian type look, okay? No matter what that is, as you can see, ever since Yeezy season 1, all right, all the way up to the next seasons, there are some variations, but you see, mostly it's that utopian look. It's that really like, there's like 1 million shades of beige, 1 million shades of gray. There's all sorts of different variations. And basically, like that has created the palette for the Yeezy brand. Almost all their stuff, really, if you look at season 1, 2, maybe 5 was different, but like 3, 4, 6, all basics, all like different plain colors. But there was one thing that made it different, was that the price was a little bit high. If you remember season 1, Yeezy season 1, a lot of those retailed at what, 600, 800, 1,000. They had the coats for 2,000. That was like a little push towards at that time people willing to spend at that price point, and that's exactly what happened. Yeezy season 1 basically also created a trend for Off-White, Fear of God, and all those other brands to basically charge that kind of price. And yes, those brands and those companies really profited for years after that. How do I know this? Because when I started doing that, what was that, 2013? I mean, I've been running the mall for like, 7 years now? Probably more. And I've seen those price points increase and just go like off the bat crazy. Like I'm talking about like Chrome Hearts. Chrome Hearts is really, really crazy. But V-Lone, a lot of those brands are really charging those prices. But like Kanye kind of started that as well, charging those kinds of prices for streetwear. As you continue, like I said, everything becomes, these like really basics, he like really pushes the basics. Every now and then he'll wear something like that reminds us of 2013, which is like my favorite period of Kanye. 2013 to 2014 was when he was wearing the hider. He was wearing, what was he wearing, man? The Soloist. He was wearing all sorts of cool stuff from different brands. And then I think at that point he felt that those brands weren't repping him back or paying him or something. And so he thought that it would be the best idea to just do Yeezy all the way. And that kind of stopped. And that's kind of like a bummer. Like I got sad because I wanted to do other brands too, man. I wanted to see what his choices were in those other brands. So from there, it was all basics. Yeezy season 4 was like light gray. Yeezy season 5 was the one with Adidas. So you saw a little bit of change. You saw the track pants, right? The Adidas track pants. There was some logos now. There was like a panther in the bomber jacket that I owned. But then it stopped after that. And then 6 was like, again, basics. And then when 7 came, there was that controversy, right? About how the buyers, when they rolled in the store in Paris Fashion Week, they only saw slides, you know? And then, of course, like Kim Kardashian West denied it. But then eventually, guess what? The slides were the only things that did come out on Yeezy Season 7. So there was no clothes on Yeezy Season 7. And then come Yeezy Season 8, when they did this little runway show, and there's no definite thing on how that releases, it was basically like, you know, again, utopian winter wear, you know, big bubble jackets. But realistically, guys, you know, here's the thing, you know, like winter doesn't last that long anymore. You know, that's the thing. That's what I'm scared about. Kind of like with the climate and with fashion, that summers are longer now and then the winters are shorter. Or also, although they might be more intense, it feels like it's shorter. And what does that do? You know, all those jackets, all those coats, you know, there's not going to be a lot of people really using them. So that's bad for the industry. I feel like Kanye inking a deal with Gap is the way to provide those utopian clothes probably at a more accurate price. Something that people can afford, but they're gonna like it because it's, you know, not so expensive. But then, you know, the only thing I mean, to be honest, I'm really interested in is that how does the Gap, you know, kind of create the utopian look for most of the customers. You know, if of course they're gonna pay Kanye like a lot of money to do it, royalties and such and such. I don't see the hype beasts really like killing this one, because it'll be on every single Gap. I mean, the model actually worked for what? Fear God, for PacSun. If they make something limited like that, but then that's not really making it for the masses. I feel like it's a tough journey. It's a tough journey, and they will have to really bridge kind of like the gap between, like, you know, the Yeezy collectors that are used to paying like higher amounts and expecting more quality, and then giving like a Gap version of that to those people if they want to get those people. And then those people that don't even really care about all of this, who are not paying anything, how to get them to the Gap and buy the Yeezy Gap utopian stuff. I don't see Kanye really changing his tune. I don't see him changing his tune with this. I believe that this is one of his, like, you know, make stuff for the masses. And you've seen this already. It's very successful with Yeezy. I used to own almost every Yeezy shoe, but I stopped at a certain point. Why? Because there was so much redundancy that I didn't feel the need to buy another 350 like every other week. And now they're like doing the colorway changes for almost everything. And although some of them are really fly, I guess I'm just such an OG Yeezy collector that I don't feel it. I feel like a newer model is better to me that I can buy rather than another Yeezy colorway that's basically the same shoe. That's just not me anymore. I think that the whole colorway scenario of how those Yeezys are selling, I think that that's going to factor into the whole Gap thing, where they're going to have multiple palettes. I mean, it might be some sort of like a Uniqlo feel, maybe. And I mean, I can see people buying that. I mean, as long as it's not like crazy off the chain, you know, weird, I think that they might even reel in the Gap customers, because now there's this cool factor that comes in with the Gap. One of those brands that's really successful is like Fear of God. The way they did essentials, I mean, that was really smart. They just put the word essentials, but basically, because it's still the Fear of God brand, like, people loved it. People were buying it. The FG t-shirt, I think. I don't know if that's essentials. I'm not sure. But people were loving that stuff. And at the price point, at the basic level that you can just wear it every day, I mean, people really, really love that. I mean, props to Jerry Lorenzo for doing that. But yeah, Yeezy, man, 10 years? That's going to be very, very interesting. I wonder if he's going to do a seasonal thing, or if he's going to do some sort of like limited collection. I'm not sure. But 100%, I'm pretty sure it's going to be that utopian, either monochromatic or kind of like that palette style hoodies, sweatshirts. I mean, that's not going to end because I think it's really going to match all the footwear that he's just pumping out from Adidas and Yeezy brand. I think it's just going to match those Gap clothes. Instead of you guys paying like $400 for the sweatpants, now it's going to be like 100, 150. I think it's going to be great. I think that there's going to be resale for this for abroad. You know, that's where the resale is going to be. I know that China buys a lot of the stuff here in the States at like more expensive rates. And so if you can like grab them in the US and then ship it really, really quick to China, I believe the Chinese customers, if they're not going to get it in the Gap over there, man, they're going to eat that up. You know, Mexico as well are, you know, really great international clients for this. If that's not going to show up outside of the US, or it's going to be delayed, for those that are reselling, for those that are hype beasting on this, I think you got to watch out on those time windows, because those would be the best times to really like grab that stuff and sell it before the whole world gets it. That's the same thing that happened with Fog Essentials, basically, as well as the Yeezy merch. I think everybody knows that I was the main seller of the Vegas merch back in the day, and we sold out like 8 boxes of those within 24 hours just because we were quicker. Okay, so that's it. Just like a little quick market watch for those that are, you know, maybe thinking about this Yeezy thing that's gonna show up next year. If you're thinking about like buying it for yourself, reselling it or whatever, those are my thoughts. Again, this is Troy D. I've been running the mall for 10 years and I've seen this pattern pretty much over and over. So I really think that's great, man. Kudos to Yeezy. Good job for, you know, finding a brand. It may not be Louis Vuitton. It may not be where Virgil is at. But think about this, you know, at the COVID, guys, who's going to spend a lot of money really on the high-end stuff? You know, I mean, it's tough. You know, that's going to snipe out a lot of the middle-class buyers, because it's going to be a lot. Like 600, 700 for one piece of clothing is going to be a lot. So it's kind of perfect timing for Kanye. Perfect swoop to save the Gap. And that's just great. All right, that's it. You know, this is just one of my reaction blogs. I mean, you know, if you're following me because you know me from the mall, then that's great. I just wanted to share this. And if you're just watching this because, you know, you're watching my perfume stuff, sorry, I just had to do this. I'm a big fan of Ye, big fan of his work. This is one of the cows hats that he was wearing back in the day, and this is my Pyrex hoodie, original one from the OG from Verge. And so I was just so excited, ecstatic to talk about it. So that's it, guys, and hope you can subscribe, guys, because I'll probably do a bunch of these thought blogs, reaction blogs through my channel. So that's it. Thank you, guys. Please subscribe. This is Troy D. Peace out.